Hello, this is Close the Gap podcast. My name is Beth Kelly, and I will be your host tonight. I am coming to you to discuss why are good organization skills worth your time and energy. We're talking about teaching your children how to become organized. So we'll start with this. First, kids learn new skills they'll need. And I'm going to start with a few recommendations for some techniques. And I do have some notes here so that we can keep this moving along. So, organizational skills for your children, all right? We'll discuss multiple techniques and ways to develop your child's organizational skills. So the first note here is this is a learning process. It's not a quick process, and it's not a quick fix. You do need to be involved in providing some consistency and patience while your child is learning these methods, okay, or these techniques. And the rewards will far exceed any efforts to learning these new methods. So first, let's tackle the beginner learners organization. And this is typically done at home as a family unit. The whole family can learn organizational skills and teach organizational skills to our young ones. So the first recommendation is to keep a family calendar. You want to check and add as many times a day as you feel necessary to check appointments or to add events to your calendar. It is an extremely useful visual aid that is in constant motion, as is your family. The second thing is introducing your kids to checklists. You can make checklists in multiple ways. For very young learners, you might want to make picture checklists. This reinforces the child's visual memory. Reading lists out loud facilitates auditory memory. And this is where kids begin to strategize to break down these important tasks step by step. OTs like myself call this task analysis, breaking down a task into its simplest form, and then fine-tuning each of these steps. The third thing is to assign chores that involve sorting, categorizing. As an OT, I might consider this a visual discrimination task. It introduces size and shapes, matching, grouping, broken or unbroken. Start with toys in your toy box, for example. Well, is it whole? Does it work? Or is it broken? And separate them. Those are the very basic skills for learning how to categorize and sort. Then, once they've mastered that skill of picking out the broken and unbroken toys and separating them, then you can move on to organizing the bedroom with a lot of direction. Number 4 is getting ready the night before. Pre-planning and visualization for the next day tasks, either for school setting, homeschool, or virtual school. It works either way. Number 5 is use containers. Use closet organizers, label them. Take pictures of what goes in each of the slots if you have an early learner. Or you can use label machines to help with your older kiddos that want to keep things in a very organized fashion. Label them for their function or use. And be consistent. Ask yourself, where does that go? And put it away in the right spot. Use a planner is number 6. Now for my high school kids, this one is a no-brainer. Planners are given to each student, even in high school or college, okay? And kids by that age should have organization skills, but it doesn't mean they're done well. So be creative. If you want to make your own planner, make your own planner, make it your own so that you can utilize it in a daily fashion. But you have to train your kids how to use the planner. How does it work? What do you put in it? And how do I check it? Number 7 is organize your schoolwork. What is due? When and how? How do I keep track and plan it out using a planner and a calendar, your checks and balance system? Placing things on your family calendar will alert the whole family that there is something that is due for one of your children, and you can work as a unit and encourage your child in these methods to help them stay organized. Number 8 is establish expectations with homework routine. This is not a time to give in to the gimme, gimme, my name is Jimmy attitude. Set your expectations ahead of time and make them very clear and concise. Keep in mind, never be a taskmaster. You need to be a little flexible, but they need to get it done. Number 9 is make homework supply box. A homework supply box is where you're going to store all of your necessary items. Pens, pencils, rulers, crayons, markers, scissors, glue, that kind of thing. Staplers, whatever you're going to need to complete a task. Number 10 is cook together. Now this may seem a little odd, but take a look at what it does. Cooking requires pre-planning, gathering items for the job or the recipe, following a step-by-step process to get the final desired outcome, the recipe, or your schoolwork. You feel good about what you've accomplished. And boy, does that recipe taste good. So you can break that down from a recipe to homework. It works either way. Number 11 is encourage healthy respect for collecting. In your younger kiddos, they might like to collect baseball cards or Pokemon cards, or maybe it's stamp collecting, or maybe it's fossils. You want to encourage your child, if they are one of these kids that like to collect, it's okay to have a healthy respect for collecting. Whatever your interest is, encourage them to keep it neat and organized so they know what is involved. And number 12, be flexible. For challenge learners, we will need to tap into what makes your child tick. Now, there are other techniques that may help your child learn their organizational skills. And one process that we'll review tonight is the 1, 2, 3 method. You get organized, number 1. Number 2, you stay focused. And number 3, get it done. And we're going to go through that. This is a practical, no-nonsense approach. Kids can practice everyday life skills. For example, making a peanut butter sandwich. Well, to get organized, you have to locate all the items needed, such as the bread, the peanut butter, a knife, a plate. Number 1 is you open the bread and remove 2 slices and place them on the plate. Number 2, open peanut butter and scoop out the peanut butter and place the peanut butter and spread it over 1 slice until it's evenly distributed. Number 3 is replace the cover on the peanut butter. Number 4, place the remaining slice on the peanut butter slice. Number 5 is cut the sandwich in half with the knife. Number 6, place your knife in the dishwasher. Number 7, eat. Number 2 is stay focused. In the middle of making a sandwich, you don't want to make a phone call or stop to play a game. Finish the sandwich making. And number 3, get it done. Time to clean up the mess from the peanut butter sandwich. Put the peanut butter back in the cabinet, and after consuming the sandwich, place the plate in the dishwasher and close the door. This method can be adapted for more complex activities and life skills, such as writing a report or completing a book report, coming up with ideas for a report. So let's delve into getting organized a little bit more. You need to ask questions. What do you need to get started? Make a list. Is it okay with your teacher? Write down your ideas. Put the due date on the calendar and in your planner. Create a checklist and mark it off when you finished it. What have you done? And plan for what comes next. You, the parent or caregiver, may need to coach your kids through this step several times until it is something that they understand. Number 2, stay focused. This part is about sticking to it and doing it, even when they would rather be doing something else. This is where you have to deal with and handle temptations to get up and go play and do something else other than homework. Or I want to go talk to my friend. Those are temptations. There are things that you would rather be doing, but not what you're supposed to be doing. So as a parent or caregiver, it's our job to ask the questions. What are you supposed to be doing? And wait for the response. A small break is all right now and then. It's completely fine, as long as they don't let into the temptation for very long. Get right back to it and focus. Let the reward be finishing the task. The reward can be what you held off for the temptation. And number 3, getting it done. This part is finishing the job. Ask the questions like, is this done neatly? Does it answer all the questions that I needed to answer? Does it check all the boxes for the teacher? Is my assignment complete? Does it have a date and name on the paper? Do I have my teacher listed? All of these things are really important when you are switching classrooms or you have multiple teachers. Now, how do you start the 1, 2, 3 process? Number 1, you have to introduce an idea. Number 2, you have to get the buy-in, which means you have to brainstorm about what would be good for the child. What would allow you to be more focused? These are pre-executive function skills. The kids need to learn how executive function skills allow them to be lifelong learners. Now, number 3 is really important. That's setting the expectation. Number 4 is making a plan. If there's a particular problem area, start with that. Start with that first. And then number 5 is parents, get comfortable in your role. You are going to have to be a low-key coach. A low-key coach. Ask them questions. Get them really thinking about, well, gosh, what is my mom or my dad asking me? Ask them these questions to help them stay on track. Praise their progress, but don't overdo it. Let self-satisfaction be the motivator. Are they proud of themselves? Do they love the work that they've done? And ask their opinion about how they think they did. Did they like the process? Was it easy for them? And what would make it better for them? Number 6 is start thinking in questions. Ask yourself questions. Then answer your own questions with thoughts and questions. Ask your questions out loud and answer your questions out loud. It allows you to tap into your auditory processing and allows you to store that information in more than one area in your brain. Is it okay to think out loud? It is. And it helps you get visually organized. Why are good organization skills worth your time and energy? Kids learn new skills that they will need. They develop a sense of healthy independence of, I can do it. Your firm expectations teach your child how to tackle challenging things and succeed. This approach builds your kids up with interests and patience, love, kindness, and self-control to have their best interest at heart. They come away from this feeling like they are cared for and deeply loved. You can glean this information as I have through, number 1, the AOTA website has a lot of information, and you can get more information from healthykids.org, verywellfamily.com, scholastic.com, and yourteenmag.com. These are just a few resources to help you on your way. My next episode, I'm going to delve into a little bit more of the higher level organizational skills. If you have questions about my podcast, please email me at closethegap.podcast@gmail.com.